Retouching can be time-consuming for photographers, especially if you photograph groups of people as well as individual portraits. Wedding photographers spring to mind. Well, there is a rather incredible editing and retouching platform which I've been using for a couple of months now, which has completely revolutionized the way I edit portraits. And I don't say that lightly. It's called Evoto, and I can't believe what this AI program is capable of. I just wish it was available years ago. Check this out. Here is the platform, nice and simple to begin with, and it's asking us to create a new project. Well, we can either click the button and name your new project, or better still, we can drag in a folder of images which will automatically create the project for you and import all of the images inside that folder. And there it is at the top, called Maddie Raw. And you can see down the bottom our thumbnails being created. And what was that, about 9 seconds to import 17 images, some of which were from a Hasselblad camera, 100 megapixels. Some nice images of Maddie. So let's start at the top and see what Evoto is capable of. Let's scale up to 50%. Under the portrait retouching panel, we have the option to retouch male, female, child, elderly, and single, which we'll explore in a little while. But since we have a girl's image, let's work under the female tab. And if you're familiar with standard photo editors, then Evoto has their own engine for basic adjustments like highlights, shadows, white balance, curves, and HSL, etc. They also have a filters overlay section, much like a LUT, or filters you might find on Instagram, with lots of different options. A couple of black and whites, but let's just reset that and do a couple of manual adjustments. A touch of shadow recovery and a boost on the white slider. Now you'll notice that a watermark has appeared all over the image. Thankfully not on the face, which would be distracting. And the reason for this is how the business structure of Evoto works, which is a credit-based platform. I'll talk more on that later. But the watermark is there only during the editing stage, not in the final export when using up a single credit. Okay, now for the exciting part of Evoto, the portrait retouching. Let's start at the top and work our way down. So blemish removal, we have quite a few options, but before we do anything, it's worth looking at the built-in presets. So let's just expand the panel. And let's try a recommended natural preset. And with one click, which is virtually instantaneous, we have a pretty incredible retouch. All those little skin imperfections have gone. And to see a before and after, we simply press and hold the spacebar to toggle back and forth between the original image. The skin tones have been evened out, but without losing skin detail. The eyes have brightened, nice and subtle. When I saw this preset in action for the first time, I was super impressed. If you want to batch retouch hundreds of images to show a client what a final retouch will look like, then this is a super quick way to do it. Let's see what else we have. High-end retouch. Now this is quite a lot more severe and similar to what you might find in cosmetic photography or perfume campaigns. But you can see the preset sliders are all individually movable if you want to dial back an effect like freckles. But let's reset and look at doing a professional retouch manually where we will get the best results. Let's reduce down the freckles and acne. Let's go for about halfway. But you'll notice that some of Maddie's permanent features like moles have been lost. That's no problem because we can bring them back. If we head up to the manual tuning feature, this little button here, we can remove the effect from specific areas of the image and bring back those precious beauty spots. A couple of those freckles. Evoto has a new feature for oily skin, but since Maddie doesn't have any, I'll find another image to showcase this later. Same with the forehead wrinkle. Eye wrinkle, let's take to about half power. Oh, and by the way, should you want to look at moments from the retouching history, we can open up the history panel over on the left to see the progress. The eye wrinkle, or eye bags as they're sometimes called, just smoothed out nicely. Dark circles, we can reduce them down a touch. Smile line, which is going to even out the skin tones around the laughter line area. Again, plus 50 works a treat, just smoothing out those cheeks. Now, Maddie is only in her early 20s, so neck wrinkles will be minimal, but let's just find an image where they're a bit more prominent. I'll push this up to around plus 80, and really impressive results. Double chin. This analyzes the image and uses AI to enhance the area. Even though Maddie doesn't have a double chin, it does define the jawline by taking out the highlight area. And that's about it for the blemish removal. So next up is skin retouching. And the first item is dodge and burn, which is going to smooth out those skin tones even further. But I think for a more natural edit, around +20 works well. Skin smoothing is going to give us that high-end retouching effect, but you are going to lose skin detail and texture. So you should use this sparingly, or in this case, not at all. Body skin, this portrait doesn't really have any. Rosy complexion does what it says on the tin, but this image already does have pretty good white balance. Unified body complexion is going to level out the tones to match the face. You can see the neck is quite dark, but again you have control, so let's settle on about +30. Skin color is quite powerful if you want to make changes to brighten or perhaps give her a Mediterranean tan. Now that's too much, perhaps just +20. Facial reshape should be used sparingly too. We don't want to be changing the identity of a person. But for instance, if you want to add volume to eyebrows, we can do that. Even individual eyebrows. Same too with the eyes, but Maddie already has big blue eyes, so no real need on this retouch. I mean, the power of this AI editing program is on another level to what most of us are used to. Teeth whitening is pretty impressive. Let's find an image where her teeth are on show. 50%, maybe 80%, there looks good. So let's get back to our retouch, and the eyes, we have the option to brighten them too. Let's find a sweet spot. Now that's too much, about +25 is good. And finally onto makeup. We can brighten the lighter parts of the face. Let's dial that back a touch, and contour is a very powerful feature. If we increase this all the way to 100 and do a quick before and after using our history, this really defines the shadows in her eye sockets, nose, and cheeks. Love this feature. Eye makeup brightness either dials back the natural eyeshadow, or we can increase its strength for a more glamorous look. But as you can see, we also have makeup preset, which will overlay some funky vibes. Freckles is quite nice, I suppose. But we can also add individual makeup items like lipstick, perhaps a red, purple, or if you want to color match with her clothing, we can go for an orange. But I think I prefer natural for this retouch. So let's do a quick before and after. Now to save this as a preset, we can click Save Preset, which we can add to a previously created group, or we can make us a new one by clicking into Presets and this little plus symbol. Create new group. Name this Evoto test. Now we can add this preset to the new group in the drop-down list. And let's call this Maddie Retouch. But say we don't want to include certain aspects of the retouch, we can turn that off, say teeth or eyes, etc. So let's save that, and the preset now appears in the Evoto group in our preset list. But before we roll this out to the other images, let's just see what Evoto has on offer in the background adjustments. We have a clean, solid background. Let's just check that. And Evoto has done a pretty nice job of distinguishing background from the hair. It's not perfect, but for a one-click option, very useful. We also have different texture fabrics or a whole array of plain color backgrounds. But I'm happy with my own, so let's reset. And finally, we have the all-important cropping tool with loads of aspect ratios, or a free cropping tool. Right, let's see how powerful Evoto is when rolling this preset out to the other images. Right, let's choose a few where the lighting was the same. Now we can either choose our source image and then select the others by holding down Control or Command, then click Sync. And within a second per image, the AI engine has recognized the female features of Maddie and applied all of the retouching we did on the original image. I think the only thing it hasn't been able to achieve is the replacement of beauty spots. But I guess that would be a stretch, perhaps in a future update. The other way we can apply this preset is by finding it in your newly created group and simply clicking it. Boom. Instant retouch. Here's another image with different lighting. I think this was a beauty dish. Apply the preset. Works perfectly. How about the smiley laughter face? Now you'll notice a problem here in that because we applied the preset which included a reduction in a smile line, this is now too severe, so we should remove this effect from the image. Let's head into the retouch module and get rid of the smile line reduction altogether. And that's just brought her smile back. And how about a touch of teeth whitening? Some neck wrinkle reduction which can happen with big smiley faces, and save it as a new preset. Now we can roll it out to the other smiley face images. How about this one? Boom. So how does Evoto handle retouching images with multiple people? Pretty well, actually. Let's grab a folder of a band I photographed a few weeks ago called Xcaliber. Links to these guys in the description. Fantastic function band. Because the way these images were lit in the studio, Joe on the end was slightly overexposed and his skin was lighter than the others. This is where single person comes into play. As you can see, it's identified all of the people in the image. So let's choose Joe. And we can turn off the boxes. First thing we can do is reduce the glare on his face skin using the new oily skin feature. And that's just taken away the highlights on the cheek, forehead and nose. A touch of dodge and burn to smooth out the skin. And finally, let's darken the skin to match everyone else in the image. But what Evoto does really well is identify the females from the males in the image. If we click on the female tab, let's just apply that Maddie preset for instance. And it's only given the retouch to the girl in the image. If the image had two females, it would apply to both. Let's just add a touch of oily skin reduction, which has just taken off the glare on her cheek and forehead. And how about some body skin smoothing? Now let's sync those changes to some other images. And here's a before and after. Absolutely brilliant. What about this image? Zooming in on the female face, all of the retouches applied and the body skin smoothing on her legs works a treat. Joe's face matches all of the others and nobody else in the image has been affected. Quite extraordinary. Let's try a quick edit on Martin, who has some spots on his forehead and cheeks and quite a bad shaving rash on the chin and neck. Freckles and acne completely restore the skin in a split second. Let's just look at that again. Eyes, let's make them twinkle. And finally, skin contouring really defines the shape of the face. In less than 2 minutes, we have a fully retouched image, which you'll agree would have taken 20-30 minutes to sort manually. Let's export the image by clicking Export. Choose where you want the image to save to. And up in the Export tab, we will see our progress. And that's done. In a few seconds, we have the finished retouch without the watermark. Now, how the credit system works within Evoto, I've just used up a single credit, leaving me with 105. If we head over to Evoto's pricing plan, you can add credits to your account. If you're new to Evoto, then you can start for free with 5 credits, which gives you a chance to test out this amazing piece of software. $83 gets you 1,200 credits, which is quite a lot of exported images if you think about it. Further up the pricing plan you go, the more you save. Now that does seem quite a lot on face value, but $83 for 1,200 fully retouched images, how long would that take to do manually? Probably years. In that respect, it's a massive saving. Anyway, I'm 100% impressed with Evoto and definitely using it in my editing workflow. Anyway, thanks for watching. I have a headshot photography course available, so if you're interested in improving your portrait skills, then I'll leave links in the description below. There's over 5 hours and 50 videos in the course. I also have a Lightroom preset pack 2023. I'll leave links to that too. I'll catch you next time.